everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Missa and today I'm going to be talking about brushes, as you can clearly see by the title. I'm going to be talking about brushes mostly, but I will throw in a few of my favourite sponges as well, just because I've discovered a few new ones recently that I just absolutely love and I think that they are worth mentioning. Also, if you like the makeup that I'm wearing just now, I did kind of film it, so I'll link it up. I don't know which side it's on, maybe this side, I think. It's just more of a chatty get ready with me. But anyway, let's jump into brushes. So I'll do face brushes first. My favourite, I'm not going to talk about a brush from every category, but I'm just going to talk about the brushes that I pick up on a daily basis and really enjoy using and think that they're such good quality that if you need some brushes, then I'd recommend these, obviously. Good intro. A lot of these brushes that I'm going to talk about as well are dirty and sponges because I didn't clean them for this, and I also just used a lot of them for my face that I'm wearing. So the first brushes are going to be my face brushes. So my favourite highlighting brush is the Morphe M501 brush. You can get this on Beauty Bay. I'll link all of them down below. It's like a small... It's like a massive eye blending brush, or like a really small face brush, and it just fits on that section, so that the high point of your face really beautifully. It's incredibly soft. I think it's very good quality. I've had this for probably over a year and it's still going really strong. All your brushes should last you quite well as long as you look after them really well. That's really important. I like it for chin highlighting, for collarbone highlighting down the centre of the nose and the tip. It's just a really good brush. It's just a lovely kind of domed shape, almost like a kind of tulip shape. And I just think it's really good. I think this is about £9 or so, I can't quite remember. But obviously I'll link it down below. And it's just a great brush. So that's the first one, the Morphe M501. Then for contouring, I love this brush and I've got a few of them. It's the Real Techniques contour brush. I use these more for liquid and then this one for powder. It's just a lovely little kind of dome shaped brush, a really nice size. It just sits really beautifully under your cheekbones or along your jaw. If you're careful, you can use it for kind of nose highlighting and it just fits really nicely all around the face. It's not very expensive. I got this one in a set. I can't remember if I got these in sets or individually, but like I said, I'll link them below. This is one of the kind of limited edition ones, but it's just a really good quality brush. It's super soft. It disperses the product really nicely. I've never had an issue with it, and I just think Real Techniques do really good quality brushes, and they're not so expensive. Talking of Real Techniques, they're also my favourite for blush and bronzer. So this one I've been using for bronzer and this one for blush. They're just really soft and they're not super densely packed. So I feel like when you kind of swirl your brush and then swirl it on your face, it's not just like, you know, depositing a block of colour. It's really diffusing it around your whole kind of face, or at least where you want it. It doesn't put it everywhere. I wouldn't use this as a powder brush, for example, but it's just really lovely and diffuses your bronzer beautifully. And then I just use the same one, which is a blush brush, both of them are, just for putting my blush on as well. And I just think, again, really good quality, not too expensive. I think these are around £10 each or so, and they're just really good. I have about 12 of these because I love them so much and I don't like washing my brushes that often, so I just use clean ones until they're all dirty. In fact, I really need to wash my brushes. So while we're on the subject of face, I'll quickly talk about sponges. Now, an old favourite is the Real Techniques, none of these are clean, Real Techniques, what's this called, Miracle Complexion. This is incredible. It doubles in size pretty much when you wet it. I always use all my sponges damp. It's very soft, it's squishy, it doesn't leave any marks in your foundation, like not tide marks, what's it called, like just like smears like brushes can leave. I just think it's a really affordable, great sponge. I always buy them in TK Maxx because they're only £2 or £3.99 in there, rather than like £6 or £7 in like Superdrug. So I'd really recommend this one as a good, like, cheapest option. The LA Girl sponge is incredible. I'm going to try and find it on a UK site. I used this today, so it's a bit bigger than it usually is dry. This is pretty much the same thing as this. I don't really see much difference between them. Maybe this one feels slightly more firm, but I don't mean that in a bad way. This is just an incredible sponge. I think they're on Beauty Bay now. It's just a fab sponge. I got a pack of 2 and I love them so much. Moving on to eye brushes. I've got a few eye brushes. So the first ones I want to talk about is this set from Amazon, and they're called Jessup brushes. This is just 4 out of a set of like 15 or 20 that I bought, and these are incredible. I think I got a set of 15 for like $14.99, which is insane, and I cannot recommend these brushes enough. I'll link this set that I bought down below, but if you just search Jessup brushes on Amazon, they've got tons of different sets. They've also got like big face brushes. The eye brushes are just phenomenal. You've got this, you know, everything from this tiny little angled brush, which is incredible for doing like winged liner or brows. This is the, oh, it's all rubbing off, 312 something liner, detail liner. One of my favourites is the 228 crease brush. This is just a lovely big fluffy crease brush. I really like that. That's the tiny little liner brush. And then another one I really love is this one, which is a lot kind of fatter and shorter. This is the 231. I love that for my crease. And then this brush, which is called the 237, is this tiny little brush. This is great if you're doing cut creases and things like that, because it's so tiny you can get really detailed work with it. But like I said, I got like a massive set of these, and these are probably my 4 favourite from the set, but all of them are so good and so inexpensive. When you compare, like £15 isn't a cheap price, but when you're getting 15 brushes, it's cheap. Moving on, I've got another Morphe brush that I really like that I'll talk about quickly. This is from the Eye Slay set. So you got 6 brushes in that set, I think I paid around £18 or so. I'm trying to find the rest of them. Well, there's some of them from, that's not one. There's some of them from the Eye Slay set, but this one specifically is my favourite because it is a huge, big, fluffy crease brush. But then I really like this one as well, and I love this one for under eyes. I love them all, but I'll point out this one in specifically. It's just a massive fluffy brush. It's very soft. It's really good for diffusing colours in your crease. I like it especially for like big dramatic looks that you're not trying to be too specific about where you're placing a colour. It just diffuses beautifully. It's a really good brush. I really like all of the ones that I got in the set. This is a similar kind of shape. It's really good. I really like the pencil brush for doing under eyes. I don't so much like this like kind of liner brush, but I don't really like brushes that are like crooked. I don't think that adds anything. And then this kind of fat chubby one is great for under your eyes for really diffusing colour. So I'd really recommend the Morphe Eye Slay set. The whole set's fantastic, but there's like maybe like 5 out of the 6 brushes are incredible, and just one of them's not, maybe just not my cup of tea, but it might be yours. But I'd really recommend that set. I'll move into my Nema brushes. Now they sent me a package months ago, and there's 2 brushes that they sent me that really stood out. The first one is the Belle brush, which again is a massive fluffy crease brush. If I compare it to that Morphe one that I showed you, this is the Nema Belle brush with the green handle, and this is the Morphe one. So the Belle brush is just bigger than the Morphe one. Very soft, really blends things out. It's dirty, there's a theme. But this has been a brush that I've used pretty much every single day since I got it, no matter what look I'm doing. Even if I'm doing just a really simple, like putting my bronzer through my crease, I'll use this brush because it's so big and fluffy that it just diffuses everything, oh, just beautifully. It's just, this is the perfect big blending brush. And we all need a perfect big blending brush. And then another one that's really stood out to me is the IFA, or A-O-I-F-E, I think it's pronounced IFA. And this is a much smaller, tapered, almost tulip shaped brush. It's very soft. And if you follow me on Instagram, or if you watch any of my videos usually, you'll see I use this brush a lot, especially for cut creases and like spotlight eyes, because it's just the perfect size, even on my hooded lids, with just the right amount of detailedness that I can get into the inner corner or the outer corner and diffuse colours really, really beautifully. Again, I feel very passionately about this little brush and I recommend you all pick it up. More brushes, and the last ones that I'm going to talk about that I love are from ABH. There's 4 specifically that I love. When they sent me the package of like all of their products pretty much that they sell, like was it last year or the year before, they also sent all of their brushes, and these are the 4 that have stood out to me the most. The first is the A25. This is a perfect little blending brush. Now if I compare it to the Bell brush by Nima, you can see the size difference, but they are pretty much the same shape. This one, the ABH one's just a lot smaller than the Bell. So if I'm trying to be a little bit more specific about where I'm blending a colour, I'll use my A25 because it's small enough but soft and like fluffy enough that it blends it perfectly, but it doesn't put it everywhere. Like the Bell brush and that Morphe big one, they'll diffuse a colour quite far, whereas this is a lot more small, so it's going to go in much more detailed areas. It's a very, very, very good quality brush. It is expensive. All my ABH brushes are expensive. I think they're the most expensive ones that I'm talking about, but I think when it comes to eyeshadow especially, if you invest in good quality brushes, it's gonna only make your makeup game better. My makeup game improved hugely when I invested in good brushes. So that's the A25 that I love and adore and recommend to everybody. And then a big brush for packing lid on the colour, especially like metallic shades or like textured shadows or even cream shadows, and you just want to cover a large area at once, is the ABH A2 brush. This is just a flat brush with a nice rounded edge. It's quite firm, so you're not going to do any blending with this brush, but it just deposits colour beautifully exactly where you want it. And quite often I'll use this for cut creases because it is very rounded and it's quite firm, so it puts colour exactly where you want the colour put. And then the last 2 brushes are the ABH A28 and number 3 brush. The A28 is a pointed, long kind of liner brush, I guess. So this brush is very, very, very fine. You could do incredible wings with this. Sometimes I use it for doing my brows, for brow like hair strokes. I use it for like using my Stila glitter and glows and things as eyeliner because it's so small. It's very detailed, it's quite firm, and it's just a great liner brush. And then I want to show you the A3 just while I'm up close with the camera, or the number 3. I don't know if you can see, but this is like a tiny little triangle and it's quite firm. It's not like a blending brush in any way. This is the favourite brush that I've ever found for doing under the brow highlight, and I know that's quite specific and it's the only thing I use this brush for is under the brow highlight, but because it is firm and it's got that nice triangle edge on it, it just fits perfectly under your brow and deposits just the right amount of colour that you want. You can use it on your inner corner as well. I have used it for that, but I definitely use it mostly under my brow. I don't like using, you know, bigger kind of brushes for under my brow because I find that it just diffuses the colour too much and puts it everywhere. I like to be quite specific with my under the brow highlight, and that's exactly what this little number 3 brush does. It's just, it's the love of my brow highlight life. That's it then, that's my rundown of my favourite brushes. There's a lot of other brushes that I use and like, but those are the ones that when I look at my collection stand out to me the most, and they're also the ones that I just had sitting on my desk because I did this eye look today and this face look, and they're the brushes that I reached for and used and loved. So I hope this helps anyone that is looking for brush recommendations. I get asked to do this video quite a lot, so hopefully this helps. And like I said, everything will be linked down in the description box, so you can just click right through to them. Let me know if you've tried any of these brushes and what you think about them, or if there's any eye brushes in like specifically that you think I need to try, because I'm always wanting more eye brushes. I mean, this is only one pot. I have 5 more, but I love collecting brushes. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you'll subscribe, give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment, and I hope I will see you in my next one. Bye!